Yes, yes, yes. When I was down, you lifted me. When I was drowning, you picked me up and filled my cup, man. What a wonderful blessing. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everyone. Wherever you are right now, you are welcome to another wonderful edition of Liberia Rising with Sam-Abel. We say Liberia Rising works with leadership with policies and not politics without projects. Today we will be discussing generational change versus generational leverage part 2. Generational change versus generational leverage part 2. That's why we're discussing today. Generational change versus generational leverage part 2 of our lessons. And today's lessons, I would like to tap into the wisdom of my Jewish rabbi Daniel Lapin. He's a rabbi that I'm connected to, and I'm been following his teaching. Sometimes I send him some questions, and the Bible that we have was not written to us. It was written to a particular group of people for us, but not written to us. We are not the original recipient and audience of that book. So in order to understand it, we got to go backstage. Thanks to Pastor Joe Amara, my friend and brother, who got me interested into Jewish culture. So I'll be tapping from Daniel Laban, Rabbi Laban, wisdom. Generational change versus generational leverage part 2. Do you feel that many of your problems were caused by your parents? Is that how you feel? Are we therefore condemned to relive our parents' mistakes and passively endure any negative circumstances of our birth and upbringing? Of course not. While they almost certainly may have bequeathed or passed on to us some negative characteristics against which we must struggle, they also gave us much of our talent and our inbuilt aptitude, our natural ability to do something. Sometimes there's a tendency to just blame our parents for their failure, for their mistakes. We are not this because of our parents. They didn't achieve this. They didn't do that. Why sometimes that may be true. But you know why? They gave us some of our talents and our inbuilt ability. They provided us with the start of our value system and certain character traits. Our parents provided us with the start of our value system. That's why we talk to our children certain way. We tell them, you got to do this, you got to do that. You don't have to do this, because that's what was taught us by our parents. Let's consider Abraham. I want to read Joshua 24 verse 2. It says, originally your ancestors lived across the river. Terah was the father of Abraham and of Nahor, and they served other gods. Please remember that. Do you feel that many of your problems were caused by your parents? Abraham's father was an idolater, which helped us to understand why God would say to Abraham, go away from your land, your relatives, and your father's house to a land that I will show you. Genesis 12:1. He was serving false gods, idols. From the beginning, Abraham doesn't come from a background that's associated with God. Most times that's how we think. No. What he saw his fathers doing, that's what he did. The worship in earth, what would come to be known as Babylon. They worship false gods, idol worship. That's what they believe in. They didn't have any connection or knowledge of the Almighty God. So just as Abraham was not condemned by his parental background to follow into the worship of idols, neither are we forced to do anything because of our own parental background. Because real life is complex and often messy sometimes, there are subtleties beneath the surface. See this verse here. These are the chronicles of Terah. Terah gave birth to Abram, Nahor, and Haran. And Haran gave birth to Lot. Genesis 11:27. Terah took his son Abram and Lot, the son of Haran, his grandson, and his daughter-in-law Sarai, the wife of Abram his son. And they departed together from Ur of the Chaldeans to go to the land of Canaan. And they arrived in Haran and they settled there. Genesis 11:31. Now hear this. Ancient Jewish wisdom explained that late in the life of Terah, he renounced idolatry and commenced a spiritual journey, a quest to know this God. Like Paul was saying, Acts, he has set away so that the whole world will come to know him. He removed his family from an era with bad influences, but never made it to the intended destination of Canaan. He wants to go to Canaan. He's seeking after God. We'll do a research on this. Perhaps there's something unique about this Canaan, something unique that even Terah, there's nowhere recorded that God spoke to him, but he just decided to go to Canaan. But he comes and stops at a place called Haran. Nonetheless, his effort was able to produce or enable his son Abraham the ability to more willingly make a change in his life, a change that he would have never done had his father not made the first move. His father took them from they desire to go to Canaan, but he's seeking after this living God. He's seeking after spirituality. And then he comes, he can make it there, whether it was poor health or whatever distracted him, we can't really know, but he had a desire to go to Canaan. And he stops in Haran, and he dies in Haran. Thus, when God eventually told Abraham to leave his family and start his own journey, Abraham was primed to do so. He's able to do so partially because he has seen his father doing the same thing. Efforts and changes we institute in our lives, even if they fail or are only incremental, can propel our descendants in the right direction. Let's come back home and start from recent history. Now, when I listen to news and our politicians today, it's as if those who were before us never did anything worthy of note, never did anything substantial. Everything they did was their leadership, their government was failure. They didn't do anything that would propel us or propel this generation or the next generation after us to do something better. Is that they didn't set any foundation. Everything we say about them is the negative. We got rid of Toba in the name of not doing enough. He wasn't doing enough. The Toba government not do anything positive that we would have propelled, that which would have propelled this generation afterwards in the right direction. The Toba government not do anything worthy or not. Politicians, leaders, even in the church setting, in politics and in their corporate world, be it in an NGO setting and social work, the Toba government not do a single thing. That's where I want to start from recent history. That we can look up to, that can propel us to do better, yet they might have not done enough. But they did not do anything worthy or not. That every time we look back, we say, they spoiled this nation, the Turin party. Did the Turin party not do one single thing? It's a matter of debate. I don't want to point things out, but consciously, can we sit as people and look back today and say, the leaders that were before, they didn't do anything positive that we would have built on? I could talk about Sam-Abel. Yes, with his regime, they killed a certain president and came to power. But again, the Sam-Abel regime not do anything worthy or not. Let's forget about all the negatives. That's what we're most familiar with. But can we look back in his regime and see something that this generation would have built on? And I could go on to talk about Taylor and even the recent one, Madame Salih. What are we doing to ourselves? Why are we not honest? Why are we so dishonest? And we keep doing it. We keep repeating. We keep being in a cycle. It's like every leadership, yeah, they might have not done enough, but with the information available to them, I believe what they did, if we were wise, is if we knew that Generational leverage is so important. We would have learned from our mistakes, and then we would have built upon the good. Yet in the Torah regime, up to the door regime, our people live in villages, so peaceful. They were farmers. They educated us from farming. Our parents lived on the mission somewhere way in Bond County. But we had electricity. We have good teachers. They were paid on time. Our parents would take LPA and get our materials for the mission. That's why we got good education. And can we look at those things? They were disciplined. That's why somebody will call you. They call your name. For instance, they say, Abel, you say, yes, ma'am. Yes, dad. But today everything is, yeah. Yeah. But we still look at them. We say they did nothing. Okay, they did nothing. But we who claim that our generation is the best, we got access to all the technology, all the information. We're going to some of the best universities. Yet then still, instead of doing better, we are worse than them. Yeah, they didn't get on the radio and discuss their government in public. They weren't in government and antagonizing one another. Government ministers never discussed their issues on the radio. Nobody said that, oh, this whole thing is politically motivated. When somebody was caught in a web of corruption, they didn't say, oh, you know, that's politically motivated crime or whatever. We didn't hear that kind of thing as we were growing up. We didn't hear government being discussed on the radio. Government were being respected. Police officers were being respected. Our army, security men and women, government personnel were being respected. They didn't do anything that we can look to and say, because it's like blaming your parent for everything you are as well as for everything you are not. Yet you forgot the effort they made to produce you, to have brought you upon the face of the earth. They might have not taken you through college, but guess what? They brought you through high school. Yeah, my father died during the crisis, but guess what? My mom was illiterate, but the foundation they gave me from nursery to ninth grade. When I crossed over to Africa, there was that ambition to do better. That's why I was able to complete my high school. Yeah, they only stopped me to ninth grade, separated from my mom. She was going to Guinea, and I ended in Africa. But the thing is, because they laid a foundation, I am what I am today. Breadwinner for my family, and I'm able to take care of my mom, and she's proud of me today. I didn't say, oh yeah, you know, they only stopped me to ninth grade. They didn't take me to high school. They didn't give me the opportunity to go to college. Yeah, I've been to places. To the glory of God around the world today that my parents never dreamed of. But I don't look at their failures. I look at the positive, the discipline they gave me, and the foundation they laid. The foundation they laid for me to be honest, to handle my dealings well. Beloved, you see, we got to be honest with ourselves. We got to appreciate generational leadership and generational leverage. We got to know that those who are ahead of us, we need them. We need their mistakes. We need their successes, beloved, because if we don't get connected, if there's a disconnect and we continue to do it, our failure will be worse than they. Because you know what happened? You say first fool is first fool. They say a certain way, first fool is a fool, but second fool is a jackass or something, whatever. Because what happened is that they fail so that we can learn from that failure. But if we do fail, then we are the real fools. Because we should be learning from the mistakes in the Toba government, the mistake in the Dole government, in the Taylor, even Madam Salih. I said it on one of my podcasts that if you brought Toba today on this witness stand, if you brought Dole, if you brought Taylor, even recently Ellen, there are decisions they made, they will tell you we would have done it better. With the information we got now, because they got access to our experience. They've learned experiences from the laboratories of the political life. They didn't learn it in a political institution. They didn't learn it in Harvard University. They learned it. They learned it the hard way through the laboratories of the political life of Liberian politics. And we need to appreciate them. Tough government did nothing, but we hear from our parents, even though we're younger, and we hear from some lecturers that at the time our government economy was on par with the economy of Japan. Whatever that was, you got to put it into context. But looking back and bringing it to today, Japan has gone far ahead of us. Their economy is one of the strongest in the world. And they left us behind. If we were on par with them, why we didn't keep it? Because there was a disconnect with generational leverage. I want to challenge you today. It might not sound so important to some of you who are very sophisticated. Even with families, we blame our parents. Be thankful to God for your parents. Appreciate God for the parents. Nobody can hold you responsible for where you come, but what we can hold you responsible for what you're able to do. You don't sit and look back and cry. My parents did nothing for me. My parents didn't leave me in a bank account. Beloved, that's okay. You got to know why your parents didn't leave you bank account, and then you can learn from that error, whatever it was, and then start on the positive so that tomorrow you can leave a bank account for your children. Liberia Rising, I believe in the Liberia Rising. And Liberia Rising is possible with leadership, with policies, and not politics without project. If this video and other video are a blessing, please continue to share. God bless you. Look forward to seeing you again.